Learn English through story. Beneath the mask, the vibrant streets of New Orleans bustled with life as night fell. The rhythmic pulse of jazz spilling from the doors of countless bars and clubs. The air was thick with the scent of magnolias and the sound of laughter, creating a mesmerizing ambience that drew in locals and tourists alike. Among the revelers, a figure moved with purpose, cloaked in mystery and an air of sorrow that belied the festive atmosphere around her. Evelyn Monroe walked through the streets, her elegant mask adorned with intricate designs that sparkled in the dim light. It was Mardi Gras, the city's most anticipated celebration, and yet, her heart felt heavy. Beneath the mask, her true self was hidden, layered in the complexities of grief, heartache, and loss. At 32, Evelyn had been through a whirlwind of emotions. A successful art gallery owner, she had once thrived in her work, curating exhibitions that celebrated the creativity of local artists. However, a tragic accident had shattered her world just over a year ago. Her younger brother, Marcus, the light of her life, had been killed in a car crash. The grief had taken root deep within her, morphing her vibrant spirit into a somber shell. As she walked, she felt the weight of her mask, both the physical one on her face and the metaphorical one she wore to shield her emotions. To the world, she was a woman of grace and poise, effortlessly mingling with the crowd. But inside, she was a tempest of emotions, struggling to reconcile her public persona with the private anguish she felt. The bright lights of Bourbon Street beckoned her, filled with the sounds of celebration and the sight of revelers adorned in colorful costumes. A part of her wanted to join in the revelry, to lose herself in the festivities and forget her pain, even if just for a moment. But the mask felt suffocating, a constant reminder of the fatal section 8 she had constructed since Marcus's death. Evelyn. A familiar voice called out, breaking her reverie. It was Clara, her best friend since childhood, who rushed over, her own mask glittering in the light. "You made it. I was worried you wouldn't come." Evelyn forced a smile, the movement feeling foreign and strained. "Of course, I wouldn't miss it," she replied, her voice lacking its usual warmth. Clara studied her friend, concern etched on her face. "Are you okay? You seem a broken bar distant." "I'm fine," Evelyn insisted, though the words felt hollow. She had practiced this line so many times, a script to deflect questions about her well-being, just taking it all in. Clara's eyes narrowed, unconvinced. "You don't have to pretend with me, you know. I can see through the mask." Evelyn's heart ached at the truth of those words. Clara had been a rock for her during the darkest days following Marcus's death. Yet, the thought of sharing her pain, of removing her mask in front of anyone, felt like a daunting task. "I really am fine, just trying to enjoy the night," she said, more firmly this time. "All right," Clara said, though her tone suggested she wasn't buying it. "Let's grab some drinks. We need to loosen you up." As they made their way to a nearby bar, Evelyn forced herself to engage in the festivities. She laughed at Clara's jokes, danced to the lively music, and even partook in the ritual of tossing beads to strangers. But each moment felt like an act, a performance to distract from the sorrow that loomed in the background. Hours passed, and the more Evelyn tried to immerse herself in the celebration, the more she felt like an outsider looking in. The laughter around her felt distant, as if it belonged to another world, one she could no longer access. As Clara chatted animatedly with a group of friends, Evelyn slipped away, seeking solace in the quiet corner of the bar. She pulled off her mask, feeling the cool air brush against her skin. In the solitude of the shadows, she allowed herself to breathe, her heart heavy with unspoken words. "What's wrong with me?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Why can't I just be happy?" As the music thumped in the background, memories flooded her into memories of Marcus. They had shared dreams of opening a gallery together, a space dedicated to promoting local artists and showcasing their talents. He had been her biggest supporter, always encouraging her to follow her passion. But now, that dream lay in ruins, and the weight of unfulfilled potential hung over her like a dark cloud. "Hey!" a voice interrupted her thoughts. Startled, Evelyn turned to find a tall man standing in front of her, his mask a striking blend of gold and black. He exuded an air of confidence, with a charming smile that instantly put her at ease. "I saw you from across the bar and had to come over. You looked like you needed some company." Evelyn blinked, caught off guard by his sudden presence. "Yeah, I'm fine," she stammered, not wanting to engage. "Fine is overrated," he replied, leaning casually against the wall. "I'm Dante." Care to share a moment of honesty with a fellow masked stranger? There was something disarming about his demeanor, the way he spoke as if they were old friends rather than two people meeting for the first time. Reluctantly, Evelyn found herself smiling at his charm. "I'm Evelyn." "Evelyn," he repeated, savoring the name as if it were a melody. "What's hiding beneath that mask of yours?" Evelyn hesitated, unsure of how to respond. She had spent so long burying her true feelings beneath layers of pretense. "Nothing much," she said, though her voice lacked conviction. "Come on, I can see the sadness in your eyes," Dante pressed gently. "You don't have to pretend with me. We're all hiding something tonight." His words hung in the air, an invitation to lower her guard. For the first time in a long time, she felt an urge to confide in someone, to share the weight she had been carrying. "I lost my brother last year," she said, the admission slipping from her lips before she could stop it. "I haven't been able to shake the grief. It feels like I'm just going through the motions." Dandy's expression softened, empathy reflected in his eyes. "I'm sorry to hear that," he said, his tone sincere. "Grief is a heavy burden to bear, and it's easy to get lost in it. But you're here tonight, and that's a step. It shows you're trying to find your way back to life." Evelyn looked away, the sting of tears threatening to spill. "I don't know how to let go. It feels like I'm abandoning him if I allow myself to feel joy again." Dante stepped closer, his presence calming. "Your brother wouldn't want you to suffer. He would want you to live and embrace life, just as you both dreamed. Honoring him doesn't mean wallowing in sadness, it means celebrating the joy he brought into your life." His words resonated with Evelyn, echoing the thoughts she had wrestled with since Marcus's death. "It's hard to think of it that way," she admitted. "I feel guilty for wanting to move on." "Guilt is a natural response, but it doesn't have to define you," Dante said. "What if you could find a way to honor his memory while still allowing yourself to heal? Maybe it's about sharing your passion for art in a way that he would have loved." Evelyn considered his suggestion, a flicker of hope igniting within her. She had put her dreams on hold, convinced that pursuing them would feel like a betrayal. "What if I started an exhibition in his honor?" she mused. "A showcase of local artists, something he would have loved." Dandy's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea. You have the talent and the vision, why not use it as a way to channel your grief into something beautiful?" As they talked, Evelyn felt a shift within her, a glimmer of the person she once was. The idea of creating something meaningful ignited a spark of determination. "I think I could do that," she said, her voice gaining strength. "Good. Start small. You don't have to have it all figured out tonight," Dante encouraged, his smile infectious. Just take it one step at a time. As the evening wore on, the two shared stories, laughter, and dreams. Evelyn felt herself gradually unmasking, shedding the layers of grief and sadness that had defined her existence for so long. With Danny's encouragement, she began to believe that healing was possible, that she could embrace her passion without feeling disloyal to her brother's memory. The night came to an end, and as they stepped out into the streets filled with revelers, Evelyn felt a sense of lightness in her heart. "Thank you for tonight, Dante," she said, her voice soft but filled with gratitude. "I needed this more than I realized." "Anytime, Evelyn," he replied, his gaze sincere. "Remember, you don't have to wear the mask all the time. It's okay to show your true self." With a lingering look, they exchanged contact information, and Evelyn walked away with a sense of hope she hadn't felt in ages. The following weeks saw her immersed in planning the exhibition, her heart racing with anticipation and fear. The prospect of showcasing local talent in Marcus's honor felt like a tribute, a way to breathe life back into her dreams. As the exhibition date approached, Evelyn poured herself into her work. Clara and a few close friends rallied around her, offering support and encouragement as they helped set up the gallery. The energy was electric, a sense of purpose infusing her efforts. Evelyn felt alive again, her laughter echoing through the space as they arranged the art and shared memories of Marcus. Finally, the night of the exhibition arrived. The gallery buzzed with excitement, filled with patrons eager to witness the celebration of local artistry. Evelyn stood at the entrance, her heart pounding in her chest as she welcomed guests. The vibrant colors of the artwork and the lively chatter filled the space with warmth. As she mingled with attendees, Evelyn caught sight of Dante across the room, his presence a reassuring anchor. He approached, a proud smile on his face. "You did it, Evelyn. Look at all these people here to support you." She beamed at him, the weight of her grief momentarily lifted. "I can believe it. It feels surreal." "Just remember, this is only the beginning," Dante said. "Your brother would be proud." With those words, Evelyn felt a surge of emotion. She was honoring Marcus's memory not through tears and sorrow, but through the celebration of life and creativity. As the night unfolded, stories were shared, connections were made, and laughter filled the air. For the first time in a long while, Evelyn felt a sense of belonging and purpose. As the event came to a close, a sense of accomplishment washed over her. She had faced her grief, allowing it to transform into something beautiful. The exhibition was a success, and the support from the community was overwhelming. In that moment, she realized that she no longer had to hide behind a mask. Days turned into weeks, and Evelyn continued to immerse herself in her work. The exhibition opened doors to new opportunities, and she found herself collaborating with local artists, creating a platform for their voices to be heard. Each connection forged felt like a tribute to Marcus, a way to keep his spirit alive through the art they created together. One afternoon, as she was organizing a new exhibition, Evelyn received a text from Dante. "Hey, let's celebrate your success. How about dinner tonight?" A flutter of excitement traced through her. "Sounds perfect. Where?" "Meet me at Café Tilde. Copyright Du Monde. I hear their bagnettes are to die for." Evelyn laughed, feeling a sense of normalcy returning to her life. As they met under the warm glow of the Café Tilde copyright lights, she realized how much she had missed his company. They shared stories over coffee and pastries, the conversation flowing effortlessly. "Evelyn, I have to ask what's next for you?" Dante inquired, his interest genuine. She took a moment to consider her answer. I want to keep promoting local artists, maybe even take this exhibition idea on the road. I feel like there's so much talent out there waiting to be discovered. Absolutely, you have the passion and the vision. Don't let fear hold you back, he encouraged. The warmth in Dante's eyes was more than just support, it felt like a connection that transcended friendship. For the first time, Evelyn allowed herself to imagine a future beyond her grief, one where she could embrace love and happiness again. The idea of letting someone in felt daunting yet exciting. As weeks turned into months, the bond between Evelyn and Dante deepened. They shared laughter, art, and dreams under the starry skies of New Orleans, their evenings filled with light and warmth. Yet, beneath the surface of their growing relationship lay an undercurrent of fear of vulnerability, of being seen without the mask they had both worn for so long. One evening, as they strolled along the banks of the Mississippi River, Dante stopped, turning to Evelyn with a seriousness that made her heart race. "There's something I need to tell you," he began, his expression earnest. "What is it?" Evelyn asked, her stomach twisting with apprehension. "I know we've been through a lot, and I want you to know how much you mean to me. I admire your strength, your passion for art, and how you've turned your grief into something beautiful. But I also see the pain beneath your smile, and I want you to know you don't have to hide it from me." Evelyn's breath caught in her throat, vulnerability washing over her like a tide. "I'm scared, Dante, scared of letting go, of truly being seen. I've lost so much, and I don't know if I can risk feeling that pain again." Dante reached for her hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "You don't have to face it alone. I'm here for you, and I promise to stand by your side through it all. You deserve to live fully, to love without fear." Tears brimmed in her eyes as his words sank in. The walls she had built began to crumble, and the thought of letting someone in terrified and exhilarated her. "What if I'm not ready?" she whispered, the weight of uncertainty heavy in the air. "Then we take it one step at a time. No pressure, just honesty," he replied gently, his gaze unwavering. In that moment, Evelyn realized that beneath the mask she had worn for so long lay a heart yearning for connection and healing. She took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill her lungs, and nodded. "Okay, I'm willing to try." As they continued their walk, hand in hand, Evelyn felt a shift within her. She was ready to unmask, to embrace the complexities of her emotions, and to allow herself to be vulnerable. The fear of pain was still present, but so was the promise of love and healing. With each passing day, Evelyn learned to navigate the labyrinth of her feelings. She honored Marcus's memory not only through her art but by embracing joy and connection in her life. She found strength in vulnerability, understanding that it was okay to grieve while still allowing herself to experience happiness. Months later, during a quiet evening at her gallery, Evelyn stood before a new piece, a striking portrait of her brother, painted in vibrant colors that reflected the light he had brought into her life. The artwork symbolized not only her love for him but her journey of healing and acceptance. As she gazed at the painting, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. The mask she had once worn so tightly had loosened, revealing the beauty of her true self, a mosaic of grief, joy, and resilience. Dante joined her, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. "It's beautiful," he said softly, his voice filled with admiration. Evelyn turned to him, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for helping me find my way back to myself. I couldn't have done it without you." He smiled, his eyes reflecting warmth and understanding. "You did the work, Evelyn. I'm just glad I could be here to witness it. As they stood together, gazing at the portrait, Evelyn realized that life was not about wearing a mask or hiding behind pain. It was about embracing the fullness of experience, finding strength in vulnerability, and allowing love to guide her through the shadows. In that moment, she felt a profound sense of connection, and not just to Dante, but to her brother, her art, and the vibrant life that awaited her. The journey had been arduous, but it had also been transformative, revealing the beauty that lay beneath the mask. Together, they stepped into the future, hand in hand, ready to face whatever lay ahead with open hearts and unmasked souls. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.